Good morning everybody, and this is your S&P 500 day trade setups for today. So lots of noise in the markets at the moment, lots of people talking about lots of different things. I just want to highlight something on the weekly. So there is a lot of noise around trendline breaks and retests at the moment. Now for me, I'm really just going to look at that trend line there, which was support. Nothing really funny about that. And then we have this trend line here, which is looking like a rejection. And yeah, if I extend it all the way back, you'll get my drift. So there is a trend line. You can see we sort of bounced off that to the downside with the COVID back into 2019. Late 2019, early 2020. We then got back above it, found support, and then carried up. You can see how both those trend lines are they're holding a little bit of weight, let's just put it that way, for price action at the moment. Now, look at the weekly here. We have a crossover of our oscillators, pretty strong move up. To me, this is still looking like a flag, but I do believe that we need to wait for a decent pullback and sort of from that pullback look for an opportunity to buy back into this. So for me, that pullback is one of two areas, and the first area is 42.79 or 42.80, and then 43.50, possibly even as low as 4200 would also be an indication. So you've got to ask yourself, if you look here, we had a tweezer top off this trend line earlier in the year. Now we have another move. So when you see a pin bar off structure, and let's just put the horizontal in as well, because that is important to keep in the back of your mind. So that is the horizontal. You can see we didn't really close above the previous week. The only thing going for the bulls at the moment, this is a green bar. So when you see a pin bar off structure like that, and there's a diagonal and a horizontal, if you get a break of that pin bar, then you're looking for a move to the downside. So keep that in the back of your mind. Where is the bottom of that pin bar? So obviously it is the weekly. So there's a big up, big down, so that's our weekly pin bar. So we get a break below the low of last week, we are looking for a continuation to the downside. Look at your oscillators at the moment. Doesn't agree with that narrative at all. We've got a crossover of all the moving averages now as well. So this is all indicating that we're probably moving to the upside. You've got overhead resistance here, which is going to give us a headache as we try to break through it. Look at your 3 hour. You can see looks like a bit of a double bottom, and again, this is the area to pay attention to, which is 45.60 area. A break and retest of that to the upside, then that validates this flag. So been a pretty strong 2 week move up, bit of a retracement going into the close of, well, from the middle of last week, and then going into close. Question I have is, why did the buyers come in going into the close? Was it just profit taking from the shorts, or is there something else happening which we are not aware of? So that is kind of the two areas that I'm paying attention to. The first one is this 45.60 area, but it's going to be tough trying to jump in long here because I'd want to see a pullback and a retest, and this trend line needs to hold. Remember, it's a weekly trend line, so if we reject it, then you're probably looking for a move to the downside here at 45.11. If we get below 45.11, that opens up these levels to the downside. So today is a 15-minute trading day again. But let's start with the hour. You can see oscillators moving to the upside. Inside bar, sort of tweezer bottom here. You can see tweezer bottom and then buyers coming in, going into the close. So for me, this is what we need to pay attention to. 45.60 and 45.65, and I'm just going to add one more in here because the 155 is here, and that is right where we are right now, and that is 45.48, or let's just say 45.50. Now if you drop to the 15 minutes, you're going to see Friday clear trend to the downside, rejection here, non-farm payrolls, and hindsight being perfect science, the short was on offer. At the moment, We've got moving averages all still wandering about at the moment, as they do in the Asian session. But I strongly suspect we are going to bounce the downside off this 45.59 area, 45.60 area. And we are looking to come back and test 45.11. If we break 45.11 and come back and test it, and we're going to need that on sort of an hour, then probably a 3 hour as well, that's going to be an indication that the weekly pin bar is broken, and that will open up the downside for first 4,400, sorry, first 4,500, then first 4,500, then 44.50, then 4,400 would ultimately be the next level. So 43.50 is also a target that you'd be looking at. So you just look at it in 50-point moves. So at the moment, that's kind of the setup. A little bit, how do I say, a little bit confusing, because you have mixed signals coming through on the hour, and then if you go to the 3 hour, you'll see there's bullish signals there. If you go to the 8 hour, it's more bullish signals. You go to the hour, it's bearish signals. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's bearish for a fall. It could just be another little short pullback onto this area and then a bounce off. And then you see the buyers come in here, and then what you'll have is a lot of pin bars coming off this level as the buyers come in to try and prop price up or push it up. Okay, anyway, for me today it is pretty cautious, but we'll see what happens in this area. If we start rejecting this area, I'm definitely looking at a seller, because looking at being a seller, should I say, because let's just say it rejects there. Look, I've got a 100-point stop loss potential, 100-point stop loss for 470-point gain. So that's the one thing that I'm looking for. If we start breaking above the highs of Friday and start finding support there, then all bets are off. Then we're looking for a continuation to the upside. Then I'm looking for support off the same level for moves back to the upside. Anyway, hope that helps, and we will catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.